It's giving housewife that lives on wine and Xannies. Love it. So, today I wanted to talk about my least favorite sentence in the entire English language. You just need to push yourself. So ever since I became disabled at 16, that has been a sentence that I have heard on repeat from doctors, physical therapists, family, friends, and strangers on the internet. It's a phrase that can be helpful for those that are training for a marathon or doing the sports, or even for educational purposes. You know, you're studying and you can't get the equations in your head. You just gotta push yourself. I could see it being helpful in that situation. However, when you are disabled, and chronically thus so, it is one of the most hurtful things that you can say. And you may be asking yourself, well, why is that? The thing that people don't get is that every single day, someone with chronic illness is pushing themselves. It may not look like it to you, but depending on how I wake up feeling, sometimes I can do a lot, sometimes I can do a little, but the days when I'm doing very little, it doesn't mean I'm not pushing myself. It means that I'm pushing myself to the limit. There are limits. That's something you learn very quickly when you are disabled. Particularly when you use mobility aids. I constantly hear certain family members telling me I just need to push myself to get off of them, which is great advice, except for the fact that that is what I am doing. That is what I am doing. You just don't see it because my definition of pushing myself is different than yours because I am chronically disabled. It's heard a lot more frequently with people with conditions such as mine because they're less known and thus there is a lot of judgments that come along with it. Particularly when you have a history of doctors telling you it's all in your head, it's not as bad as you're saying it is, you just want pills. It's a lot better nowadays, but back when I was first diagnosed about 7 years ago with the Ehlers-Danlos, the Chiari was diagnosed when I was 11, and we were told, it's no big deal, you'll never have to worry about that. Spoiler alert, 16 emergency brain surgery. But what I'm referring to currently is the Ehlers-Danlos. So I was diagnosed at 17, and back then, it's still a problem now, but back then it was so much worse, where there was really no knowledge. I mean, this condition was only discovered in the 90s. So what I truly think is conditions such as Ehlers-Danlos are now seen as the modern day like hysteria, even with something as well known as like endometriosis. Doctors are convinced it's not that bad because, I don't know, they just don't give a fuck. If you've seen my last short video, you'll know that I do not have a very high opinion of doctors. Some are amazing, don't get me wrong, but the vast majority do not give a fuck. So you see it a lot with conditions like Ehlers-Danlos, fibromyalgia, anything that affects a younger population, as well as primarily female population, though I don't identify as female. I recognize, yes, I was born female, nothing I can do to change that. And also conditions Not that I'm talking about that in this sense, because it's not something that affects me personally, but conditions that affect individuals that are people of color. I know that I have heard people's experience with sickle cell anemia, which is primarily a condition that affects people that are Black, that they are told that it's not that big of a deal, that the pain's not that bad frequently. And that is a horrific disease. But going back to my conditions, because it's all about me on this channel, telling somebody you just need to push yourself, it diminishes in that instance how hard they are pushing themselves. Why I'm talking about this right now is that I spent this weekend pushing myself. I went to the boardwalk with my fiance, and I went to the zoo the next day with my fiance and my best friend and her fiance, and I pushed. And I felt good. I'm back on steroids for a little bit, which always gives me a boost, you know, and I just got over a 2-week flare, so I felt good and I wanted to do these things, and I still feel as though it was all worth it, but I have been for the past 2 days in an extremely bad flare because of pushing myself. Telling someone like myself that you just need to push yourself can be dangerous. So many times this has happened where, while right now I feel it is worth it and I haven't pushed myself to the point that I need to go into the hospital, there have been many points in my life when I have, where I have pushed myself so hard that I caused a lot of damage. And it is something that, again, primarily, not that it doesn't affect the older population, but the younger population is told this constantly, because we're not used to seeing young kids that are disabled and need walkers or wheelchairs or canes. I mean, I rarely ever see somebody my age, let alone younger, needing a mobility device, but that doesn't mean they don't exist. That doesn't mean that we're an anomaly, and that doesn't mean that it's our fault, because when you say you just need to push yourself, you're making it out to be our fault, that we haven't pushed ourselves enough, and that's why we're in the situation that we are. Trust me, if pushing myself was gonna cure me of everything, I'd have been cured years ago. Hell, I'd be cured today. I pushed myself a hell of a lot. I walked for hours because I am utilizing my walker now. So now I'm experiencing the results of pushing yourself, and it is hard. I'm having to be very gentle with myself. I'm having to rest a lot. Yesterday was the entire day in bed. Today is probably going to be on the couch. Can't really get a lot done, but that's okay. For me right now, the reason I am pushing myself is because I'm waiting on surgery, and I know that I'm going to be out of commission for a long time after that surgery. It's a very hard recovery. So I'm pushing myself now to do the things I want to do so I can make some happy memories that I can think about when I'm just like in agony in my hospital bed. So the next time you think to say you just need to push yourself, I want you to consider if that's actually helpful, and also why you're saying that. That's the thing that I can never wrap my head around, is why do you think you're saying that? And also, why do you think that I and others have never thought ever to push ourselves before? Trust me, we have thought about it and we have done it, and it doesn't work. When you are permanently disabled, which so many people that I know in my personal life hate when I say that, because they think that it's defeatist, when really it's me accepting the truth. The conditions I have are permanent and are going to get worse as I get older. That's a given. But they see it as this defeatist attitude, like you're giving up. I'm choosing to wake up every morning and live my life. That is the complete opposite of giving up. That is me choosing life. That is me putting myself first and me pushing myself. So just some food for thought. I really can't film anything crazy right now, anything fun that I really want to film because I pushed myself. So next time you think that those are words of help, no. Consider what I have said as somebody that is a representative of the disabled community. Those words ain't helping anybody, but you know who they are probably helping? It's probably helping you to make you feel better about yourself. You know, it makes you feel like you're offering some words of wisdom as the person that isn't disabled, but you're not. You're making a damn fool of yourself. So, consider that. That's all for now, folks. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully I'll be feeling better. Bye, guys.